UCI BMX Supercross presented by Swatch.
A new season is set to begin, and with the Olympic Games in the back of every athlete's mind, we're set for a thrilling start to the 2011 UCI BMX Supercross Series.
Exciting times, obviously. We have a lot of new locations this year. We have the new super finals in time trials. We have a lot of new upcomers.
More than 2,000 fans turned out at Alexandra Park here in Pietermaritzburg, South Africa to watch the world's finest go head-to-head. And with last year's champions Mara Strombergs of Latvia and Letitia Lecogi of France out due to injury, the 2011 Supercross title and a handful of valuable Olympic qualifying points are now up for grabs.
I'm really excited to be back out here, back on the big start ramp, out of the rodeo arenas.
Had a good preparation at the OTC. Good week before we came here, so actually coming into a race feeling 100%.
My off season was very long. It was 12 months because of my injury, my broken femur.
Whatever place I get today, I just want to walk away and be pleased with my lap and stay safe and, more importantly, have fun.
I'm feeling so much better than last year.
Ultimately, we'd just like to make it into the final. Anything past that, I'll be stoked,
I just want to make a main. Haven't made a Supercross main yet. I'm starting off the weekend good, so hopefully I can land a spot in that final and see how it goes.
Expectations are, as always, be in the main event and hopefully on the podium.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. Hopefully the weather stays like this, but I guess that's not a problem. So, yeah, looking forward to race.
The permanent Supercross facility here at Alexandra Park is one of the world's finest. It was a tough week for the GSX crew who battled wet and windy conditions, but when the sun finally came out, it revealed one of the toughest tracks on the circuit.
What we have here is a very technical track, very tight track. We got some off-camber turns, we have some hip jumps.
It's very technical because it's not big, but it's not so fast.
I kind of like the track and all, but jumps are a little shorter, so fully pinned, you got to really be ready to suck them up or just kind of pace yourself to them a little bit and just keep it smooth.
This track is good, no big, and it's smooth.
I just think the track's a lot more difficult than it appears. The first jump was definitely something that looks a lot scarier than it is.
I really like it. The first double is different from others.
Third straight is technical, but it has a good flow in it, so I think it's not a problem.
For the girls, the third straight's going to make or break. You'll see some girls that are getting through it good and some that are just bar humping, chopping through it.
I think that third straight is definitely testing a few of us. Got some really big rollers, and some people are trying to double through, some are trying to manual.
The S-berm things, they're a little sandy at times and kind of slippery, but they're cool.
The rhythm section's really deep, and we're a little bit tired by then too, so you just got to make sure you stay mentally focused and get through there clean.
I think it's really technical, but it's really something new and I like it, so hopefully it's good for racing, but we'll see today.
The time trials will remain a key part of this race, where your lap time directly translates into your seeding for the first round of qualifiers. And for the 2011 season, UCI has added a twist to the time trials, where the top 16 men and 16 women go battle it out in a thrilling super final. It was Manon Valentino of France who stole the show, winning the super final ahead of Sarah Walker and PAJON. And in the men's drop was Joris Daudet of France, who rode to victory, making it 2 for 2 for the French team. The elite men got things going with their round of 8 qualifiers. France's Joris Daudet used the inside lane to win all 3 rounds and dominated the group, but it was the Dutchmen Martin Scherpen and Ivo van der Putten who kept pace. For van der Putten, his first race back was a successful one, as he also made it through. And speaking of comebacks, Donnie Robinson in the 3rd heat, you'll see him on the outside there, escaped a first turn crash to qualify, along with Kirk Picard and Frenchman Sylvain Andre. It was great to see De Wilde back in form, battling against riders almost half his age, and qualified through. First round action in the heat number 7 saw Tory NYHAUG of Canada go down hard in the first turn, but he stormed back in the second 2, showing his maturity to qualify along with the crafty Andreas Jimenez of Colombia. The top 32 men moved on to the quarterfinals. The elite women, with the French coming in as the favorites, took to the technical track for their round of qualifiers. In heat number 1 of women's, it was business as usual until a crash took out the leaders in turn number 1. France's Manon Valentino dominated the first 2 rounds, but fell leading the pack in the last round, taking out teammate Ava Ayew and American Ariel Martin, who both failed to qualify. Heat 3 was a fast one, led by New Zealand's smiling superstar Sarah Walker, but it was anything but safe behind her. USA's Danny George lost position in turn number 2 and fell, ending her quest to transfer to the next round. And in the last set of heats, Mariana PAJON of Colombia won all 3 bouts, but it was bad luck for Maria Ruarte of Argentina, who crashed out hard in the second round and eventually missed the cut. So some high-flying action qualified the top 16 fast females on their way to the semifinals. Since the Olympics, it's been a tough go for USA's Donnie Robinson, who has just returned to action from a series of serious injuries.
It's great to be back because, I haven't been on the scene for a year because in Madrid, Spain, I had a crash and I actually got a concussion and a collapsed lung. It wasn't until I had gotten home a couple days later that, I felt kind of a gurgling sensation near my heart. And they actually said, you have a collapsed lung. So that was good that, that I had survived, the crash and the flight back home. Ended up crashing again with a freak crash with Mark Willers. Collapsed my lung again for the second time. So again, I had a crash with Kyle Bennett and I collapsed my lung for the third time. And I actually found out about this surgery that, that would adhese my lung to my ribs so that when I hit, the lung wouldn't break away and collapse again. A lot of doctors had advised me against doing that. It's time for me to do something to ensure that this doesn't keep happening, because if it does, this is my career down the drain and I can't have that. It's been rough. This is by far, the hardest time of my whole, racing career that I've had to deal with. The talent that's coming out of America is just getting younger and younger. According to those riders, we're the old guys, and they let it be known. I didn't have a trainer until I was, 22 years old. And now these guys are having, trainers at 16, 17. And it's almost not even fair. Like, you shouldn't even be able to get a trainer until you're like 22. This is my home. I feel comfortable here. I enjoy the competition. I want to be a winner all the time, but it's all about just loving the sport that you grew up with.
Here we go with the Elite Men quarterfinals, the top 4 qualifying on. Joris Daudet has to be the favorite going into this. Look for him on the inside lane. There he is with a great snap, and down the hill they go. It's he and Herman, USA's Herman, battling out going into turn number 1. Daudet backside, look at that transition, gets nice and smooth. And it's Herman following on the inside. Myers in the mix there somewhere as well. As they lead it through, Myers trying to hang on over the hip jump. Going into turn number 2, away they go. Myers in the back, Vanderputten trying to make some noise in there. Look for the orange jerseys in the mix, coming through the rhythm. Oh, a bad crash. Daudet leads it, but that's Ivo Vanderputten down hard, and it's going to be thank you to Myers. So 2 Americans will make it through as well. What a crash in the rhythm section. Pull manual on that one, just gets a little bit over the front of the bars, and over the bars he goes. A nasty crash in his return, but good luck for Myers as he makes it through.
Evo had a big crash, and I just pushed through. Thought I was going to hit him, but fortunately got around him, so hope he's okay, and try to make it to the final.
I did pick up manual, but I was supposed to do pickup jump. Don't ask me why. Hell of a comeback, right? After a year. Disappointed in myself, and I don't know.
So Vanderputten is out. Myers, Castro, Herman, and Daudet go on to the next round. That's the semifinals. So a lot of action here. Expect more with that crazy hip jump. Corbin Shaw of the USA will have the inside lane. And look for Kalen Young of Australia. What a guy from Australia, making a big comeback. Didn't get to the Olympics in 08, but you can see he has his sights set, and away they go. From the inside lane, it is Corbin Shaw, but no way. Middle of the pack coming at you right now. It's a Kurt Picard, the Kiwi. So Ken Cool's doing a great job with his team. He's got Picard way out front right now. And Shaw having a bit of trouble in the pack. Oh, tags, the hip jump. Oh, Robinson down. His day looks to be done. There's 1 American left in the mix. Right now, all about Picard, and it looks like it's going to be a crazy Sylvain Andre of France hanging in there. Shaw, lucky with those crashes. He'll transfer through, but A lot of surprises happening already as Robinson out of the count. Check it out. Here's the replay over the hip jump. Chara gets a bit bumpy, and then Sylvain Andre and Robinson tag up. You'll see it from another angle. And Robinson took the inside lane there, and the two had nowhere to go but down on the dirt, and end of the day for Robinson. So it's Twain Van Gent, Corbin Chara, Kalen Young, and Kirk Picard, the surprising winner of the second round. And to the top we go. We just watched one Kiwi win his quarterfinal. Can Mark Willers do it again? It could be a double up, and there might be a bit of pressure there now as we look at Mark Willers. What a competitor from New Zealand, one of the threats to go to the 2012 Olympics, and away he goes on the inside lane with the red helmet. A great start, but who's got the whole shot? It's going to be Vanderbiesen in the mix right now. The orange jersey, Dutch Army, followed by the Australian, Michael Tiger Robinson. Willers in third spot, trying to hang in the mix right there. Where's the Wilda? Can the KG veteran stay in the mix? I don't think so. But right now it's Vanderbiesen, Robinson, 1 and 2. Willers trying to stay smooth. De Wilde creeping on the outside, looking for that right time to pass. And he does. Right now it's Vanderbiesen. Can we get another Dutchman in the final? Oh, look at De Wilde squeaking in.
A lot of stuff going on the first straight. Me and Follow elbowing each other a lot. And then first turn there was stuff going on. Thought I lost it going into the second turn, and somehow I made it through.
So Afro Bob taking the last chance qualifier there. Willers, Robinson, and Vanderbiesen on to the semifinals. And to the top for the fourth and final round. Top four of these guys going through. And we'll look at WILLOUGHBY and NYHAUG coming from the inside lanes. Should be an advantage. And away we go with NYHAUG. Oh, and NYHAUG not a bad start, but he got squeezed out. Here comes WILLOUGHBY. Aussie, oi, into turn number one. The Frenchman in there. Thomas Hubert, Thomas Amon. Two Toms going at it. NYHAUG squeaks back into the two spot. Van GORKOM's in the mix trying to make it through. What a crazy finish this is going to be into the rhythm section. WILLOUGHBY 1, NYHAUG 2. Looks like everything's going the way. A little bit of space going on there as those two move through. Oh, Van GORKOM takes out the Frenchman for the fourth and final qualifying spot. Full contact in the last corner. Check it out. The orange jersey goes inside, the black one goes down, and the Dutchman is through. So WILLOUGHBY's through. NYHAUG, Jimenez, and GORKOM just makes it through to the semifinals. So with many of the favorites already out of the mix, the top new 16 men move on to the semifinals and a chance to race their way into the main event. She started racing at the age of 8, but here she is on the world stage now, vying for the right to represent her home country of Australia with a dream of Olympic glory on her mind.
My name's Rachel Bracken, I'm 19 years old and I'm from the Gold Coast, Australia. When I first started racing, I was 8 years old. My brother raced for a couple of years before me, and one day his bike got stolen. So my parents claimed it on insurance and got a new bike for him. And then we found the guy that stole the bike, so my dad's like, this is your chance to race if you want to race. So I took up racing and haven't stopped. My 2010 season, I like to think it was pretty successful. I made 3 out of 5 Supercross finals. This pre-season, I've been working a lot on what I need to do for races to get my head in the right spot, like listening to music or just distracting myself. I reckon our coach Wade Boots has a lot to do with it. He's always there pushing us in training and he's just got such a good vibe. I'm trying to be more aggressive. I think it'll help a lot to be more aggressive, but at the moment I'm still kind of a bit timid. At the end of the year I want to be in the top 30 rankings. That's one of my big goals.
We are ready to roll with the women's semifinals, and the first rack is loaded at the top of the tower. Caroline Buchanan of Australia has emerged as one of the threats on the World Cup scene, but she's got a stacked heat, include a Rachel Bracken and another Australian in there, along with Brooke Crane of the USA. We're going to see the inside lane, and it may be an advantage. Oh, a good snap by Bracken in there. Valentino from the outside lanes trying to stay in the mix. Can she do it? The time trial champ. But right now it's the Aussies, 1 and 2 on the inside. Valentino going around Bracken, charging the big section as they head down the second straight. Here comes the Frenchman. Valentino goes by Oh, what a great pass on the outside as she now takes charge. There's Brooke Crane in the mix of USA trying to stay in there, but right now Valentino got this moto in charge bracket. Stephanie Hernandez of Venezuela. She's going to make the cut as she gets onto the main event. So check out Valentino. Slow and low on the outside. Cruises past Buchanan on her way to winning that round.
Having trouble with my gates all day. Got my gate then. Got out in front, out of trouble. It's always what I like doing, and into the final, anything can happen now. Going for gold.
Going for gold she will, along with another Australian, Lauren Reynolds, Stephanie Hernandez, and Valentino onto the main event. And in round number 2, it's going to be Sarah Walker of New Zealand poised for the win, but let's look at Mariana PAJON for a second. The Colombian Spitfire is definitely a contender, and she's going to need a good start to get past the long legs of Sarah Walker. Oh, great start for the two of them, battling it on the inside. It is Walker with the hole shot going into turn number 1, though, as she's going to take it through. Where's PAJON? PAJON is down at the hands of one of the French women, Gabriela Diaz. Misconsistent, staying in the mix once again. So a great shot for her to stay with the group right here. Megalie Pottier with some consistency emerging as one of the French threats. She's going to make it through, but Sarah Walker dominating this round, and her arch rival PAJON down on the ground, not going to make the cut through.
3 down in that semi-final. Walker 1, Pottier 2, Diaz 3.
Had a good first straight and a smooth lap, so can't be disappointed about that. And I'm in through to the final, and just got to get a good gate then and see what happens.
So PAJON is out, Walker is in, along with Megalie Pottier, Gabriela Diaz, and Vilma RIMSAITE of Lithuania. The gate of 8 is set for the women with some familiar faces and upstarts ready to make their mark in the main event. To the top of the hill we go for the elite men's semifinals, round number 1, rack number 1. Top 4 from this group goes on to the main event. Joris Dode has to be the favorite, but watch for the Herminator, David Herman. Inside lane snap, Joris Dode gets a good one. Look for the dark blue jersey on the inside, Kalen Young in the black, trying to stay in the mix, but he's in the middle. Herman's in the mix right now. Oh, this is crowded. Coming through the second straight, watch for the hip jump and a bit of a transfer here. They are through, all of them through. Wow, this is tight. Sherrod trying to get his way through. And he does. He's got a bit of space between he and Dode and Kalen Young, but it's Myers and the Herminator going toe-to-toe for the last spot. Oh, no chance for there. The Herminator holding it off for the 4th and final transfer. So the Herminator squeaks in Kalen Young, Joris Dode, and Corbin Sherrod of the USA onto the main event. And back to the top we go for the second rack of elite men's semifinals. And it's going to be the youngsters versus Afro Bob de Wilde. Now check this guy out. He's an Olympian. He's got experience, but will it be enough to get him onto the main event today? From the inside, a big snap. That's WILLOUGHBY and NYHAUG, 2 of the young guns in the middle right now. And it looks like Wheeler's emerging into turn number 1. Vanderbeesen in the mix. Oh, 2 crashes going on there. Wham, bam, thank you, Sam, says de Wilde, as he's now in the mix to qualify. Nobody left behind these guys. So Wheeler's in control. Vanderbeesen, de Wilde, all going to make it through to the main event. And what a great feeling that has to be for Afro Bob to make it in the mix with some of these riders. So we're going to check the replay here just to see what happened. Going into turn number 1, things got a little too tight. Now look at this. Willoughby gets the Malachi crunch, so does NYHAUG. Both of them go down. Half the pack is gone, and de Wilde says, all right, we're moving on.
Everybody was so balled up in the first turn, I was able to high-low everybody. And taking 3rd spot.
So Willers, Vanderbeesen, Jimenez, and Afro Bob de Wilde onto the main event. With the men's semi aside, it's a showdown between 4 Olympians and an equal amount of up-and-comers as the top 8 men get ready for the final showdown. Here we go with the elite women's main event, the first one of the season. Sarah Walker going head-to-head with Megalie Pottier of France, who isn't afraid to make contact in the turns. And it's great to see Vilma RIMSAITE of Lithuania back on the world stage. Though she's on the outside, she could have an imprint here today in the main event. And the veteran, all the way from Argentina, Maria Gabriela Diaz. Expect her in the podium, a place that she usually finds herself. The blonde bombshell from Australia, Lauren Reynolds. Aggressive, fast. She's going to need a good gait if she wants to get through this pack of riders. And look at this, Stephanie Hernandez of Venezuela working her way into the main events more consistently. Great to see her here. And one of the two French women on the gate, Megalie Pottier. She has the do or die mentality. She's going to go for first, but it might be the worst. You never know. Next to her, she dominated the time trials. She won the super final. Here she is going for the trifecta, Manon Valentino of France. And next to her, smiling Sarah Walker of New Zealand. A good gate start, and she's going to be out in front and tough to catch. And last, but definitely not least, another Australian, the mountain bike BMX World Champ crossover star. That's Caroline Buchanan from the inside lane. This could be an advantage. And watch for a big start. Off the gate we go. It's the Australian, the Kiwi. No way, it's the French woman. Polche's in the mix with a good gate, but here comes Valentino. Emerging as the favorite, and Diaz pops out on the outside. But it's Valentino and Diaz battling it out. Buchanan's in the mix. So right now your podium favorites are going this way. It's France, Argentina, Australia. Oh, Buchanan gets the bump. Pache making some action. That was a hockey move. Check it out. It's all about Valentino. She's moving away from the pack as Diaz fights off a charge. Riders going down. I think that might have been Buchanan. Oh, it's Diaz will get the second. Walker with the third.
This is amazing. It's like a comeback for me. It's the best comeback. I did a good gate, and then on first turn I went inside and took the second place.
A bit slow out of the gate and just couldn't get it together to the first jump, and that was it basically. Just it's all about first straight and BMXing.
So the Australians were down and out, with Walker picking up the bronze, Diaz with the silver, and Manon Valentino celebrating a great weekend, winning the time trials super final and now the Supercross main event. It's a men's showdown with USA's Corbin Chirac going head-to-head with the world number 3 of Joris Daudet of France. From the outside, though, we're looking at the crafty veteran from Colombia. Finds his way into the main event more often than not. He's got an outside lane and maybe an outside shot. Next to him, David Herman, the Herminator from the USA. Possibly one of the most consistent Americans on the Supercross circuit, looking for a big win this year. And Raymond Vanderbiesen, you saw him at the Olympics a few years ago, still in the mix, and one of the more consistent Dutch riders next to him. Well, can we say this guy's a veteran? Afro Bob de Vilde. Welcome back to the main events. In with a bunch of young guns and upstarts, and a chance to win a Supercross race at the start of the season. Kaylin Young, the rock star from Australia, who lives and trains in the US now. And here is one of the biggest threats of the day. He's world number 3, Joris Daudet. So consistent, so fast. If he gets the lead, he's going to be tough to catch. But he's going to have this guy, Mark Willers, New Zealand, under the grueling regime of Ken Cools to try to get by this guy. One of the best coaches in the sport, Mark Willers, ready for action. And on the inside, super smooth Corbin Chirac. We can't really call him the outsider or the underdog anymore, because this guy was so consistent today that I think he's finally arrived and ready for a big win. Oh, a great start for Daudet in the middle there, but I think he drops back quickly. We don't know what happened. Kaylin Young in the mix, the black jersey. But right now emerging, it's Corbin Chirac. Out there, Willers and Kaylin Young, the oceanic battle. Willers trying on the inside as Chirac leads the train going into the hip jump. Oh, Willers goes down. Here comes Kaylin Young. Joris Daudet back in the mix. And Vanderbiesen in the mix there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right now it's all about Chirac looking for the last hurrah. Here goes Daudet on the inside, trying to pull off Young. He doesn't do it. And Chirac winning his first World Cup of the year and his career.
Oh, I don't know, man. It's just in shock. It hasn't really sank in yet. I mean, just had a great gate and held it through the rest of the lap and got through. The GT was out front and it felt good.
Great finish. Vanderbiesen just on the outside looking in. Joris Daudet fought back. Kaylin Young with a strong and tough moto, but Carbon Chara stands tall, and you can call him the series leader going into round number 2. Well, with the first event out of the way, Manon Valentino of France finds herself at the top with 250 points, leading Sarah Walker of New Zealand with 180 and veteran Gabriela Diaz of Argentina with 160. For the men, Carbon Chara of the U.S. leads the chase with 222 points, ahead of Frenchman Joris Daudet at 190 and Kaylin Young of Australia with 173. So that's it for the 2011 Supercross season opener from Pietermaritzburg, South Africa. The series now heads to Papendale, Netherlands for round 2.